Hey everybody, Adam here, the roof strategist. New location, new thing, and we're talking today about innovation and testing new ideas to have massive breakthroughs in your roofing sales. Now, welcome to today's LockDown Live. We're in a new spot, talking new things. Now, I wanted to share with you a few stories because right now you've been seeing a lot of things in the media on my channel specifically, and almost every company in our industry is coming out with new content to say, here's what's working, try this, do this. This is what you have to do in COVID, no contact. And it's all true. You got to follow it. And at the same time, it's so important for you to test new ideas because ultimately you're one breakthrough away. And we've been in this for a number of weeks now, right? And if we look at the longevity of our industry, there's been so much time to test processes and systems that work to drive sales. But we're adapting to this new kind of normal with the social distancing, no contact, stay-at-home orders, that we are going to be forcing ourselves into a new era of constant innovation and testing. In order to do so, I wanted to leave you with a few tips and a few stories. And let's start with some stories. Almost all of the strategies that you learn on my YouTube channel here, The Roof Strategist, which by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to do it. Click the subscribe button and join the Roof Strategist Insiders. You'll get a free copy of my ebook. You'll get notifications when I go live or shortly thereafter, along with an entire series of really my top hitting tips and insights sent right to your inbox. You can opt in there. So all the stuff that you're learning here was done by innovation and learning. And if you think about it, it's like I learned to run with my shoes untied. I'd take a few steps, I'd trip over my own feet, and I'd smash my face on the ground. I'd say, well, that didn't work. And then I'd get up, dust off, tie my shoes again until I finally figured out how to do a double knot, and it didn't happen again. So the things like how to break the emotional attachment to money in the process by focusing on assessment and not price, that was on accident. That's because I failed enough and realized that when I kept talking about price with homeowners, they'd have this wall of resistance and freak out. Right? So then I started to do that. When I taught my cold calling script, I came up with that on accident because I was sick of knocking doors. I went almost a full week at ground zero with no training and got my teeth kicked in at the door. Rejected, rejected, rejected. I was late in ground zero. So I'm like, man, this sucks. I hate knocking doors. So I cold called. I didn't even know what I was going to say as I was calling the commercial property in the first sale I ever landed. Right? I innovated, I tested a new idea. Now, meanwhile, I've talked to roofers all the time who are like, hey, what if I put a little something in the door? So I opened up the door and left it cracked. And I had my note there, but I left them a little gift. And I can't give away what it is because they're testing it now and I want them to be able to share the success. But that's a way to get attention, right? Then you hear people saying, hey, there's a gentleman who watches the channel who I've talked about, Jason. And Jason, I taught about the no door knocking strategy, and he used the direct mails and innovated. And he's like, hey, screw that, I'm not mailing him, I'm taping him to the door. Massive success. Great. Tested a new idea. You have to forget fear of failure. Here I am, I'm standing in my kitchen. I've got both my dogs here, whose nails you can probably hear, clip-clopping around. I'm testing a new thing. I want to show you a new thing, show up in a new place, new everything. This video might flop. I don't know. But it's all about testing new things. So Jason tests this at the door. Then Jason says, Adam, this whole no contact paperwork thing, instead of going electronic signing, I know my market doesn't really work super well with technology. So I'm going to put their contingency agreement in a bag and hang it on the door, on the front door. And then it worked. He sat in his truck. So now is the time to innovate, to come up with new ideas. So when you're driving your truck, or heck, if you're stuck at home and the stay-at-home orders aren't lifted, which I know are going to be lifted pretty soon in certain areas, it's a time for you to get out a piece of paper, write down a list of outlandish ideas. The sky is the limit. Write down anything, a new letter to try, a new cold calling script. Watch my video on video door knocking, where you can put videos together using free tools like Use Loom, using text messages, using a voice note on your phone. By the way, that's how I communicate via text with people because I hate typing. I'm super slow at it. And again, a voice note, a video, a picture, a GIF, right? Leaving something at the door, a little gift, cold calling, whatever it is, come up with some outlandish ideas and test them. Take the scripts, break the rules, do your own thing, because ultimately we are going to have to innovate in the new normal. And truthfully, you are one breakthrough away. The direct mail letters, by the way, that are in the marketing battle pack, that happened almost on accident, right? I learned about the strategy by a very bright person in the industry. I'm not the only one using direct mail. What makes mine unique is that they've been tested and they have a variety of different ones in the way I format them. And I've had the opportunity to do this with a lot of people, right? And that whole thing came about on accident. The whole how to start the conversation at the door as opposed to doing the pitch, that was also by accident because I learned the way everyone else does. I show up for free inspection. So my point is this, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to test things. I'm going to share something with you. Talk about vulnerability, okay? So I have failed at probably 80% of the things that I've tried. 20% have been really successful. This being one of them, this channel. This happened on accident. I wasn't even planning on doing this channel. I've shared this story before. All my videos were private. I used to only offer one-on-one consulting with companies. No one knew me. Everything was word of mouth. And I only worked one-on-one, and it was really expensive. I had videos that you had to log into my website and they were paid. And then one day I said, I'm just gonna make them free. It'll help people out. And it's because of fans like you that said, hey, Adam, make more videos. And then I flipped my model around, and here I am doing training for free instead of charging a lot of money every single month. Now that is available for people who are interested, but not everybody can afford it. It doesn't make sense for everyone. If it does, you're welcome to reach out to me. There's a link in the description about my one-on-one services. But again, this all happens on accident. So today's video, today's LockDown Live, which I apologize, I didn't have room in the title to fit LockDown Live in there. I ran out of space. Is all about empowering you to come up with new ideas, to take what you learn and test and innovate. And all of the fans that are having the greatest level of success are taking these ideas and adapting them and playing with them and seeing, hey, Adam said to do this. And I just got an email from somebody who says, Adam, I got your battle pack. And I used the contingency agreement for the first time, like you taught, using it as a sales tool. And I landed a $12,000 job. Thank you. Okay. And again, this is a new thing for him. He wasn't using the contingency. He was using a handshake deal. That's awesome. So you have to challenge yourself. Put yourself out of the comfort zone. When you think something won't work, chances are it very well might. And I have had an opportunity of putting my fingers to work, typing and writing letters, direct mail letters, mass mailers, fielding calls, all these things. And all the stuff that I thought might be a home run has flopped. The stuff that I never thought would work does. And I'll share another story with you. And that's how I came up with one of the biggest breakthroughs for the company that I was COO of, was how we handled our inbound leads. And for owners that are watching, I teach this every single time I'm with someone on one-on-one, okay? So normally people say, hey, the phone rings, someone answers it at the office, you're driving your truck, you write it down, oh, who's your name? Great, a salesperson will call you, or whatever, field rep will call you in 24 hours, and we'll make an appointment. Well, then they hang up, they're gone. And our lead to appointment rate was so low. It's like, what's going on? And then I realized sales was calling back, leaving a voicemail, and it was phone tag. So what I did is I just used the cable guy method. I said, hey, we do our appointments in 3-hour windows between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., 11 to 2, 11 to, or 2 to 5, 5 to 8. What we'll do is book that appointment with you in that time slot, and within an hour, one of our representatives will call you to confirm the exact time, so you don't have to wait around. What time works for you? And I write it down. And that window from 8 to 11, example, the deal was locked in. I didn't care what rep could run it. Then I'd send a text out, or I'd call whoever was up in rotation, and then I ended up having them fight for it because I wanted people to be responsive, right? And it was super fun. So then the homeowner's like, oh, I got an appointment. So they don't call anyone else. I'd find what rep can run it. 9 times out of 10 we could. And if we didn't, we'd call back, say, hey, we had a scheduling snafu. How's Tuesday instead? That one little accidental thing I wanted to experiment with. And at that point, our office manager didn't want to do it. It's too much trouble for him. So you know what I did? I said, forward the phones to me. I'll handle it. And I did, and it worked. Testing new ideas. So the moral of the story is this. You're coming into a weekend. It's Friday. And if you're watching the replay, make some time. I will share this. No matter what I've done in business, the most valuable time I've ever invested is quiet time to myself. You watch the videos on my whiteboard. That's in my office. I spend so much time on that whiteboard planning, ideas, thinking. That deep work leads to massive, massive breakthroughs for people like you who I serve. And I would encourage you to spend some time, grab a notepad, write some ideas, test outlandish, put them to work, because we are going to need to innovate new normal, because everyone's seeing the same thing. We're all going to be doing the same thing, which will become a new norm. And hey, everyone in the industry was doing, for the most part, the same thing. Lead generation online, cold calling, direct mail, door knocking. That's the main suite, right? So now, how can you stand out? How can you differentiate yourself? And I'd love to hear your ideas. Drop a comment. Throw out some outlandish ideas. Heck, I'll test them. And the beautiful thing about sharing in this community here as our fans, and I do say that, and I do mean it very sincerely, our community. I get people reaching out all the time, share this on the channel. One of the most memorable emails I got was a gentleman who shared this with me, and I can't share the pictures because he asked me not to. He said, Adam, I'm finding so much meaning in my work, and I'm paraphrasing here. He says, I've never felt like I've connected with my people by using this educational sales that you teach, by educating people, because they get inspired and fired up and they feel confident. The relationships I form with them are really deep and powerful. And you know what's happened is so this guy sends me, he's got selfies of him and the customers in their kitchen, outside, in the lawn, doing the project, in front of their new roof. And he's fired up. And it's so cool. And he's like, hey, share these ideas. And you have Jason, who I've talked about like 5 times because he's been on almost every single live, and he's sharing his ideas. Adam, share this with the fans. I took your letters, I taped them on a door. That wasn't my idea. I said, Jason, can I share this with the community? He goes, absolutely. If it can help others succeed, let's do it. And that's the beauty of this channel, is the true community, because when you test, when you innovate, when you try things new, share them. Then I can share them. You'll get more feedback and learn from everyone's ideas, and we'll all grow. So that's all I have. Today was an inspirational one. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to a different location, trying something new in the name of trying something new. Be well. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you in this community. Click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications when I go live. And if you're not on my list, the Roof Strategist Insider, it's a free list. It's a free opt-in. It'll bring you to a page. You get a copy of my ebook. You'll get a bunch of emails from me that are all value packed, like little mini lessons with a video. So if you're new to the channel, it'll get you brought up to speed really, really quickly, and you'll get notifications when I go live, as well as some other goodies. So be well. Have a great weekend. Thanks for being here for another Lockdown Live, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.